Hey guys, so today it is time for an update on my makeup basket, and this is actually the last makeup basket video that I'm going to be doing before the move. Right before the move, I'm going to have like a what I'm packing in my travel makeup bag, the makeup that I'm going to keep with me while everything else is packed away. So that'll be the next one in this series, but today I wanted to give you a recap on the makeup that's been in my basket for the past couple of weeks, and then pick out a new set of products. I wanted to squeeze in one last little makeup basket because there are a few things that I'm wanting to kind of like retest before I make some final decluttering decisions. And I am going to have a big decluttering series coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think I'm going to separate it by eyes, lips, and face. I'm thinking that's how I'm going to do it, and it is going to be a traditional overhead style declutter. Really excited for that, but before I do that, I just have a few kind of like last minute chopping block items that I want to kind of retest. And then of course I just have some regular products that I want to roll in and get some use out of before we pack everything up. So let's go ahead and get into my recap of the products that were in my previous basket. I had a very summery basket, very peachy, warm. I am wearing everything on my face right now, and I did film little demos of every product so that we can just take a look at them in action, but this is the kind of look right here that I've been really into over the past couple of weeks. I would describe it as kind of like a dusty peach sort of look. The palette that was in my makeup basket was the ColourPop Miss Bliss palette, which is what I have on my eyes today, in addition to a couple of shades from my ABH Norvina palette, which is my Pan That palette this year. So from this palette, I'm just wearing these three shades here on the right, and those are really the main shades that I dipped into for this rotation. I actually only used the corals. I didn't really dip into the pinks a whole lot. I was just kind of in a coral mood these past couple weeks, as I usually am this time of year. So for today's look, I started out by buffing some of Woe into the crease. That's this kind of light cantaloupe color. And then I went in with the shade Palo Santo here, this shimmery peach. This shade has such a huge dip in it. I've got to be really close to hitting pan on that. I thought I was going to hit pan on it today because it has such a deep dip in there, but I applied that all over the lid. Then I took some of the shade Vibrant Thing, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette. It doesn't look that much different at first glance compared to these other two matte peaches in here, but this shade has just the slightest hint of like a dusty taupe mixed in. It's almost like a little bit more of a dusty peach, and that's the kind of color I've been so into lately. And I took that shade on kind of my inner and outer corners, just very softly, and also worked it a little bit into the crease. Then I tapped a little bit more of Palo Santo in the center because I was kind of going for a halo eye, sort of. But then after I turned the camera off, I forgot to film this part because I was just kind of like playing, adding some finishing touches to the look. I ended up deciding to deepen up the look just a tiny bit with a couple shades from Norvina, the shades Incense and Volatile. I pretty much just took a mix of those two on a small crease brush, and I just kind of built that up a little bit in my outer corner and just ever so slightly blended that into the crease just to add a little bit more definition. I just felt like the look needed like a tiny bit of depth, so that was that. And then I did take a little bit of that onto the lower lash line as well. So that is the eye look today, but I had so much fun with Miss Bliss, and I did kind of a variation of this look quite a few times over the past week or two. Really every time I sit down to do my makeup, I've been dipping into this palette because I don't know, there's just something about it that's really calling my name right now. I just love how fresh and juicy and summery it is. So I had a lot of fun with that. I'll have to make a point to dip into those pinks at some point soon, but I was just having way too much fun with the peaches this round. I did also use a little bit of the eyeliner that was in my makeup basket today. This is the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Orange Zest. I'm so glad I finally had the chance to play with this rotation because I bought it a couple months ago and I had just been kind of holding on to it, hadn't used it yet, was kind of saving it for the summer, and it is the perfect like juicy orange color. I love that color so much. I have that on my upper lash line. I did sort of wing it out, but then it got kind of covered up by those matte browns from the Norvina palette, so it's just kind of there for some soft definition. I also wore this on my lower waterline quite a few times this rotation, so loving that. I love these NYX liner sticks so much, and this is such a fun color if you like an orange liner. Alright, so now let's chat quickly about the base products that were in my basket this rotation, starting with the foundation. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk, and I've had this for a while. I am, of course, wearing this today. I love the way this looks on my skin. I mean, I just love the kind of smooth dewiness that this gives my skin. It has light coverage, so, you know, kind of along the lines of a skin tint or a tinted moisturizer. It does give just a little bit of coverage and kind of evens out your skin tone, and I really love kind of the like plump dewiness that this gives my skin. And I also love the way that this wears in the summertime when it's hot because it will kind of fade a little bit on your skin throughout the day, but it continues to look very fresh and smooth. Like, it never starts to look dry or crusty or separated on your skin. It just kind of naturally fades into your skin. So it's a really nice product for the summertime. Now, here's the problem with this. I just mentioned a lot of things that I really love about this product, but I'm actually kind of torn about it because I am suspicious that this might break me out when I wear it multiple days in a row. And I think that's the reason why I didn't notice that until recently, because, I mean, I have known that this does contain coconut oil, which does often break me out. So that was the kind of signal to me that maybe I should keep an eye on this. But I think the reason why I didn't notice that it broke me out for so long is because I didn't really wear it multiple days in a row. I would kind of space out my use of it, so it just never really was a problem. But I do think that when I wear this, especially if it's, a few days in a row, I do start to notice a little bit of an increase in blemishes on my face. So I did take a little bit of a risk and wear it again today for the second day in a row, and I'm gonna see how my skin does. This is kind of like my last chance that I'm giving this product. It's a shame because, like I said, it looks so beautiful on the skin, but if it does break me out, it's probably not going to be worth keeping. So anyway, I'm kind of torn on this, but I did enjoy wearing it the few times that I did. So then the concealer that I had in my basket, I fell so much more in love with this. I mean, I already really liked it, but I am loving this concealer. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin, or no, the Stay Naked concealer. I think they discontinued their Naked Skin, and this is like the new version. I love this. I love this so much. This is kind of, I mentioned this in my bridal makeup look video from Monday. This, to me, is kind of like the concealer version of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. In a weird way, I feel like they have a similar feel and kind of finish on the skin. It has good, I would say, high-medium coverage, but it's very thin at the same time, so it's a good kind of happy medium between coverage, but also looking really natural and skin-like on my skin. And lately, especially in the summertime, in the hot months, I do really enjoy just lighter weight complexion products in general. And I'm even enjoying this over my, I'm even enjoying this over my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, which I love, but this one's just a little bit thinner. It's also a little bit less coverage, but right now this has really been my preference. And I have this little mini size of this, and I think I'm actually really close to being done with it. I used it on my friend for a bridal makeup look for her, and I also used it on myself as a bridesmaid for a outdoor summer wedding. It was very hot, held up beautifully. Really loving this. Like, I 100% see myself repurchasing this once I use up this mini size because it is amazing. And then I also had my CoverGirl Clean Fresh pressed powder in the basket, mainly because I'm just also trying to use this up before the move. And you actually might have seen in my repress with me video over the weekend, I did repress this, so there's a very thin layer in there, but I'm really hoping that I can finish this up before the move once again and just kind of get it cleared out, have one less thing that I have to take with me. But I'm loving this. I think this is also going to stay in my basket for another rotation, just so that I can continue to use it. I think this will just be the only powder that I use for the next couple of weeks, and it's just fantastic. It's blurring, it's lightweight, it's just the best setting powder, in my opinion. I also had in my basket the Oma Beauty Double Take Contour and Highlight Stick in the shade White Pearl. I definitely ended up using the contour side a little bit more than the highlight side, not because I don't like the highlight side, but just because I have a lot of other highlighters that I'm also focusing on using right now. And I even had the Becca Highlight in Champagne Pop also in the basket, so that's the one I ended up reaching for more. But I love this. This is one of the creamiest, easiest to blend cream cheek products ever. It's one of the few stick cream products that you can actually just draw directly on your face and easily blend out without it lifting up your foundation underneath, without looking patchy. It's just a great product. So I've loved this for a long time. I still love it. And today I am wearing both sides of this, but I did layer over the highlighter that Becca Champagne Pop powder highlight. And you can see those two layered on top of each other is very glowy. I mean, I'm also just looking very glowy in general. It is like 100 degrees outside today, and even though we have our AC on, of course, it is just hot, like you can just kind of feel it in the air. So I'm looking a little glowy just because of that. But also this Becca highlighter layered over a cream highlighter, it just takes it to the next level. I'm looking very, very blingy, but not in like a disco ball aluminum foil kind of way, it just looks very radiant. And I really like the way that this pairs with Miss Bliss. I feel like with that kind of peachy champagne undertone, it goes really well with those peachy colors in here. So that has been kind of my go-to powder highlight over the past couple weeks. So yeah, this is a long time favorite, but I had a lot of fun reaching for that over this past rotation as well. And then another powder cheek product that I had in my basket was the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Cheeky. This is just a great matte light peachy blush. Goes great once again with any kind of peachy eye look. And I totally see why people love this e.l.f. Primer Infused line so much, because it's just, even just to the touch, it feels so smooth and like buttery, and it just glides right on your skin so smoothly, blends out great, lasts well on the skin. So, and there's just something about a peachy blush in the summertime, especially when I'm really loving like warm eye looks. It just complements that so well. I'm also self-tanned right now. I have been a lot recently because I'm trying to use up my self-tanner, and this just looks, it just complements tan skin so well also. So love that, really fell back in love with that as well. And then I think the final product in my basket this past rotation was the Bite lip crayon in the shade Stinger. This I recently picked up because it was on sale, because Bite is going out of business. It might still be available on their website. If it is, I will link it below. All of their products are marked down to half off right now, and I am so glad that I picked this up. This is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly the really reddish coral that I was after. It's not an exact dupe of the Physicians Formula Liquid Lip and Tulip treatment, which is kind of what I was hoping to dupe, but I think I actually like this color better. It's a very similar color, but I think it's just a little bit lighter and brighter than Tulip treatment, which I honestly kind of love. So this is what I have on my lips right now. I actually used the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in the shade Happy to line my lips first, just to make sure I was getting like a nice precise application. This obviously doesn't really match this color, but it makes a good like underneath lip liner, just for the sake of precision. Loving the color of that, and I like how, depending on the look and what else I'm wearing it with, it can take on a little bit more of a pink look sometimes, but today it looks very red, so I feel like it's very versatile in that way, and just a great bright summer lip. And the formula is also great. It's very smooth and creamy, long wearing, but it does fade off with eating and drinking and stuff, but it fades very smoothly. So loving that, very glad I picked it up, and I think I'm going to continue to enjoy this all throughout the summer. But those are all the products that were in my last makeup basket. Let's go ahead and put these away and pick out some new products to put in. Okay, so starting off with eyeshadows here on the bottom. One thing I recently mentioned, I really want to pull in my BH Cosmetics Mimosa palette. I've been meaning to get around to rolling this into my basket like all spring, and being that I'm in such a warm peachy pink phase, I think this will be perfect. Definitely has a lot more pinks than peaches in it, but yeah, I'm just kind of in the mood to play with this. There's a lot of really fun colors in here. Another thing I'm going to pull in, and this is sort of a chopping block item, this is the Sugar Pill Single Shadow in the shade Flame Point. This was decluttered to me by a friend, and I have not used it once, and I think that was, I don't know, it was many months ago that I got this, so I want to give this a chance. I think this will go nicely with that Mimosa palette since it's orange, and you can see there that's a matte, just really vibrant orange color, so I think that'll go really nicely with the Mimosa palette. And yeah, I just want to test this out and see if it's something that I do want to keep. All right, these are my high-end palettes. I'm thinking that's probably going to be enough between the Mimosa palette and that Sugar Pill Single. I'm kind of tempted to pull in this Aether Beauty Citrine Quad because this just has some really gorgeous warm neutrals in it, and I just want to play with this some more. I've only had this for like a month, and I just feel like I haven't used it as much as I would like to, so I'm gonna pull that in. We'll see if I use it. If not, maybe I'll roll it into my like travel makeup bag, but yeah, I've just been itching to use this, so let's do that. All right, so next up we have my lip drawer, and those eyeshadows we picked, a lot of them were quite bright. So I want to pick something a little bit muted. I don't like to have like super bright colors on the eyes and the lips at the same time usually. So I think I'm going to stick to something a little bit softer on the lips. I'm actually thinking this Urban Decay gloss would be pretty. This obviously looks very bright in the tube, but this goes on like a much more sheer kind of wash of color than what it looks like in there. This is their Plumping Shine Balm in the shade My Dude. I'm thinking this will be a really pretty, just kind of summery, juicy gloss. So let's pull that one in. You know what, let's just go crazy. I'm gonna also pull in my Burt's Bees Gloss Lip Crayon in Santorini Sunrise. This is a nice nude peach color. I really love this. So also just really digging like the sheer tinted balms like this, or like sheer lip glosses like that other one. So let's add that in as well. I feel like I'm going a little crazy here, but I don't know, this is kind of like our last hurrah before the move, so let's just have some fun. Okay, so here is my cheek drawer, and I've really been enjoying these new Kokie ombre blushes, and surprisingly, this one, I thought this would be more of like a winter, like fall and winter shade. This is the shade Bellissima. You can see it fades from a soft peach to like a nice reddish tone, kind of like a brick red. This makes the most perfect kind of sunburnt blush shade for the summer. I love how it just, like the mix of those two shades together, I kind of just swirl my brush all throughout the pan. It just makes me look so awake and like, I don't know, youthful, vibrant. I'm really loving this. So I'm gonna pull this in. I think this will be a nice one to go with those eyeshadow picks as well. Kind of just been in a little bit more of a powder cheek product phase. So I'm just kind of focusing on this drawer. This is my powder drawer. And I do have some creams in here, but I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job rotating through these as it is without having them in my makeup basket. So let's just focus on this drawer. So for bronzer, I think I'm gonna pull in my Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Sunkiss. This is a nice kind of cooler tone bronzer. I feel like it's been a while since I put this into my makeup basket. So let's grab that one. And then for highlighter, I've kind of just been in a very peachy highlighter kind of mood lately. So let's see, I'm kind of trying to decide between like my Nabla one or of course my Aether Pink Diamond Dust has always been a favorite. This is one of the prettiest highlighters I own. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. It's a little bit glittery, but I mean that in the absolute best way possible. It's glittery without looking textured on the skin. I love it. So yeah, I think I'm craving this one. Let's do that. All right, and then we already have that CoverGirl pressed powder in the basket that I'm trying to finish, so I'm not gonna pull in one of these powders. Let's go ahead and take a look at my base drawer. So I just counted, I already have 9 products in my basket, so I need to slow down, slow it down, because I'm getting a little crazy. But for foundation, like I was saying previously, a few of the products in the basket, actually most of these haven't really been chopping block items, but one kind of chopping block item that I do want to pull in is my Oma Beauty Say What foundation. I mentioned this in my full face of my least used products video. I'm still playing with this. I'm leaning towards decluttering it, but I do just want to give it a couple more chances. I will say I did layer it over a very hydrating sunscreen the other day, and it did look a lot better on my skin. So I just want to put this to the test a couple more times before I make my final decision. So yeah, that's on the chopping block for me. I'm actually just going to go ahead and leave my Urban Decay Stay Naked concealer in the basket. I kind of want to see if I can finish this. Kind of in this phase of let's just try to finish up as many almost empty products as I can. So I'm going to throw that in there and just see if I can't finish that up in the next couple weeks. Not going to pull in a setting spray. I just kind of rotate between those as it is. This is my top drawer. These are just like everyday makeup products anyway. So, and I'm actually going to refrain from pulling in any of my liners as well, because I feel like I have plenty of products in the basket as it is right now. These, by the way, are my chopping block palettes. I'm not going to put these in my makeup basket, but I am kind of making a point to retest these out at some point in the next few days. I think I already know which ones I'm keeping and which ones I'm getting rid of, but you'll have to stay tuned for my palette declutter coming up soon. But yeah, I'm just kind of leaving this on top of my drawers here so that I can maybe just test each of them out one more time. So that is my current makeup basket for these next couple weeks. I think it'll really be more like a week and a half. So definitely have quite a selection here to work with, but yeah, hopefully I can make some final decisions about that Oma foundation, about that Sugar Pill shadow, and then wish me luck on trying to use these 2 products up. We'll see if I can. But yeah, that is gonna be it for today's makeup basket video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I will leave my entire makeup basket playlist down below if you wanna watch more videos like this. But otherwise, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye.